But now on talkSPORT Extra Time and on Talk Radio, of course, it's a simulcast for us this morning. Double whammy. I'm back on Talk Radio, which is great fun. It's great fun to welcome back to the show, as we do each and every Friday here on talkSPORT, our mate Van Connor, our main man when it comes to all matters movie-related on a Friday. Big movies on the small screen and all on Freeview. Van chooses 3, I choose 3, and we might need the recommendations this weekend because, of course, we're all still in lockdown. Good morning, Van, and how's it going for you, matey? How are you coping? How's your week been?
I'm all good, thank you, Mr. Ross. I'm getting by with the celluloid treats, that before me.
We have a trio of treats for us lined up this morning, starting with, on BBC One tonight, I think it's 11:10. Tell us about Kinky Boots, Van.
Well, that's the thing, because nowadays Kinky Boots, to you or I, is, I think, more readily identifiable as a sort of West End musical. But, of course, it started life back in 2005 as this little scene, soon to become a cult hit, and then obviously, spiral to becoming a West End musical. It was a British movie, a British comedy about a drag queen who joins forces with the recently inherited owner of a fledgling family-run Northampton shoe company. And the idea is that they come together to save the fledgling company by designing a set of red leather boots that will be perfect for drag queens. And I've got a clip for you of this drag queen, Lola, played by none other than Chiwetel Ejiofor, feasting her eyes on the finished products for the very first time. She doesn't quite approve.
Definitely not typecasting. Have a listen to this.
What do you think?
Burgundy. Please, God, tell me I have not inspired something burgundy. Red. Red! Charlie boy! Rule 1! Red!
It's the color of sex.
Burgundy is the color of hot water bottles. Red is the color of sex and fear and danger and signs that say do not enter.
All of my favorite things in life.
It's a learning curve for both sides then, and of course there's a football connection to that. You mentioned Northampton, which is where the British shoe industry used to be based. The team there, of course, their nickname is the Cobblers. Great fun film this though, Vale, isn't it?
Oh, it is really good fun. I mean, the soundtrack alone is worth having. I mean, the film is just a cherry on top. The film's great though. That performance by Chiwetel Ejiofor, absolute scene stealer, and it's mind-blowing to me because one of my favourite movies is Serenity, in which he's the villain.
Yep.
That this came out the same year as Serenity, and I just cannot reconcile that in my head.
Okay, so it's 11:10 tonight, BBC One. I could have chosen for VE Day on Film 4, 10-7 tonight, The Land Girls from 1997 with Anna Friel and Rachel Weisz. That's there if you want it, folks, but I've gone for ITV, 8:30 tonight, Dad's Army. It's the 2016 remake, but what a cast. Michael Gambon, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Bill Nye and Toby Jones. Of course, it's not the same as the original, but it's a great watch, a great family film. It's 8:30 tonight, ITV. It's Dad's Army. Attention! Here's the trailer.
Bravo, Mannering.
Nice front, shoulders back. Sergeant in the home guard, not a sack of potatoes.
It's all hands on deck.
An enemy spy is operating somewhere near here.
I'll catch him, sir. What does he look like?
We don't know, Frank. That's rather the point with spies.
Stupid boy.
And there we have it, that great catchphrase of Captain Mannering there, played by Toby Jones. Did you enjoy this version? I mean, it got a bit of a rough time, a bit of flack, as they might have said in the Second World War from critics, but I thought it was a gallant attempt.
Now, I had a very difficult time with this when it came out in cinemas, because I didn't grow up with Dad's Army. It's one of those things that, because I grew up overseas, it was one of the British sort of comedy templates that I missed out on. I also missed out on Morecambe and Wise, FYI, so I know I'm damaged as a person. But when I saw this movie, it was one of those films that I saw a lot of fan service in. I saw the kind of thing that if you were a fan of the original, you would probably see a lot of relevance in. I thought, to me though, this felt like if someone many decades from now recast Red Dwarf or recast Blackadder or something like that. And I think if enough time went by, I'd kind of be happy with this. The same reason we're happy with the idea of the Only Fools and Horses musical that we see, plastered all over the underground, etc.
Almost a homage rather than a kind of attempt to reinvent it. It's one of those, it's almost a tribute to Dad's Army. It's ITV, it's tonight, it's 8:30. As I said, you could also watch The Land Girls, film 4 tonight, 10 minutes to 7, Anna Friel, Rachel Weisz. And you've got another interesting film for us tomorrow, ITV2. I chose my words carefully there, 9 o'clock. It's We're the Millers, Van. People don't know the story of this. Kind of fill us in as best you can.
I always feel bizarre when I pick movies for you, Paul, because I just pick them based on their enjoyability. I never think about how strange they are. I apologise. So this is a comedy from 2013 starring Jason Sudeikis. He's a low-level pot dealer who's, owing money over his head, takes on a job for his local drug crime lord, played by Ed Helms, for which he has to transport drugs from one side of the border to the other. His ingenious solution is, I'll hire an RV, we'll load the RV with the drugs, and I'll get like a fake family to do that. And he hires a misfit band consisting of a wayward kid from his building, a sort of wayward teenage runaway that they encounter along the way, and a stripper played by Jennifer Aniston to form this sort of family. And I've got a clip for you of what happens when Jason Sudeikis realizes that Jennifer Aniston really is going to go through with posing as the matriarch of this fake family.
A rom-com, it's not. It's We're the Millers. Here's the clip.
No, I'm good. I got it right over here. Thanks. Thank you. Sorry.
Honey, hi. You made it.
Mm-hmm. Eat it.
Sorry. Sorry. Wow, you look really very...
Don't. Just don't. All right.
Okay.
Hi, Mom. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And who's that?
That's your daughter, Casey.
Hey. Mm-hmm. I want $30,000 now.
Why?
Okay. Have a safe flight.
What? No, okay. Fine. Bloodsucker.
All right. Happy wife, happy life. Hi, kids.
So that's We're the Millers. I did enjoy this, but it's kind of one of those, people should be warned. It skirts to the edge of bad taste at the time, but a great fun film. I was tempted tomorrow night to go for E4, 9 o'clock, the first in the Taken trilogy with Liam Neeson, which is a great action movie. Instead, though, I've gone for, I couldn't avoid it, one of my favourite films of all time. I saw this at the cinemas when it came out. I've seen it half a dozen times since. Still not absolutely sure what it's about, but I know I love it. It's The Man Who Fell to Earth, David Bowie. Its debut on Talking Pictures TV, which is on Freeview. It's 10 to 10 tomorrow night, directed by Nick Rogue, who gave us Performance and Walkabout. It's an astonishing film, this. No point in me trying to tell you what it's about, apart from David Bowie playing an alien, typecast again, who falls to Earth, and he's come to try and help life survive on his planet. Here's the trailer. Don't miss this, folks. It's a melon twister.
Why'd you come here?
Where I come from, there's a terrible drought. We saw pictures of your planet on television. We saw the water. In fact, our word for your planet means planet of water.
I like figs. That's why I like you. Oh my God, that was happening to you.
In, say, 3 years, what would this be worth to me?
$300 million?
Not more. I need more.
What the hell for?
So in 1976, $300 million wasn't enough. This is a kind of, I suppose out there is the word for it, but it's also a film I think that stood the test of time. A very strange movie indeed.
Oh, very much so. I mean, the thing I always remember about this movie is that, legendarily, Nick Rogue, the beloved late Nick Rogue, who directed, of course, Don't Look Now, which I adore because I was a film student once, so I'm indoctrinated to adore Don't Look Now. Nick Rogue and David Bowie really got on, but there's some discrepancy as to whether or not David Bowie was high whilst making this movie. David Bowie has claimed he was. He's claimed that he was having an out-of-body experience whilst doing this performance, and his co-stars have described it as, actually, no, he was the soberest, most lovely man in the world. So there's some discrepancy in the legend with that. It's the thing I always think of when I think of this movie.
So it's the Thin White Duke, also a shot from the film turns up as the cover to Bowie's brilliant album, Station to Station. That's tomorrow night, 10 to 10 on Talking Pictures TV. If I go now to my Sunday recommendation, we know that number 3 is on the way now. Number 2 wasn't great. It was was all right, but number one I thought was fantastic. It's 6:45. It's film 4. It's called Now You See Me, with an amazing cast. It's got Jesse Eisenberg, Mark Ruffalo, of course, Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine. A brilliant film. There's Woody Harrelson's in it, Isla Fisher. I think it cost $60 or $70 million. It made almost $500 million, hence the sequels. It's Now You See Me, and I've got the trailer.
Come in close, because the more you think you see, the easier it'll be to fool you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
for our final trick,
we are going to rob a bank. On the count of 3, you will be teleported through space and time to your bank in Paris. 1, 2,
3. Everyone in this room was a victim of hard times.
Some of you lost your homes, your cars, and so tonight,
we're going to return some of that money back to you.
See, I do love this film. Were you a fan of Now You See Me? I didn't mind the second one, but I don't think anything could prepare me for the, for the kind of strangeness and the brilliance and the fun of the first film.
I had a great time with the first one because I think I saw it at one of those sort of mystery screenings that you get at multiplexes sometimes. I think it was a Cineworld Secret Unlimited screening yesterday, and they unveiled this film. And it's Louis Leterrier, who directed The Transporter and Incredible Hulk. And I love a schlocky action thriller anyway. You do me with Ocean's 11 with, street magicians. I'm in. I'm sold. Yep. That's a great concept. This works. Second one less so, but this is a great twisty-turny thriller. Okay, so there's film 4, Sunday evening, 6:45, but you've gone for one of my favourite films from this century, Hellboy, on 5 at 5:05. Very appropriate. This is Ron Perlman's finest hour, I'd say. I should not be surprised in the slightest that you would enjoy this, Mr. Ross. It's a good old-fashioned, punchy, kicky, Nazi-kicking comic book epic. And it's also got shades of World War II and the supernatural. How could you not love it? It's rooted in Hammer horror. It's all about you. It is the 2004 Guillermo del Toro adaptation of the Mike Mignola Dark Horse comics. Son of Satan, raised as a warrior of humanity to fight, threats of the supernatural and the occult. And in this case, they go up against the resurrected form of Gregory Rasputin. I've got a clip for you.
He gets fed 6 times a day. He's got a thing for cats. You'll be his nanny, his keeper, his best friend. He never goes out unsupervised. Oh.
I hate those comic books. They never get the eyes right.
Hellboy. He's real.
Yeah, 60 years old by our count. But he doesn't age like we do. Think reverse dog years. He's barely out of his 20s.
It's also got John Hurt in it, and any film that starts with a group of Nazis on a rain-swept Scottish island trying to raise the devil, you've got me at hello. I mean, that was just a fantastic film. Was the sequel again was a disappointment, and then they attempted a reboot, which I could barely bring myself to watch, I must say, because I like the original so much.
I think we might have reviewed, you and I, the reboot together. Yeah. It wasn't great, but it does feature one of my favourite opening lines from a movie ever, even though it's funny for all the wrong reasons. But hats off to Ian McShane. Hellboy 2, I think, is a really good sequel, and there's a great article doing the rounds at the moment about how Hellboy 2 opened in the summer of 2008 opposite The Dark Knight and the very first Iron Man, and how it just missed the window of the next wave of the comic book boom. I can't recommend. Seek that out. That is a really good read.
Excellent stuff. So we've got 5:05 on 5 on Sunday, and that's Hellboy, and we've got all our recommendations. I'll be tweeting them for you as well, folks. Van, have a fantastic weekend, matey. Enjoy lockdown, and we'll talk next week if that's okay.
Well, until the next time, good sir.
And where can people find you and Rebecca Perfect's guide to the movies and what can watch at home?
You can find us every Friday morning on podcast platforms with a brand new episode of The Off-Screen Show, in which we lay out your ultimate 7-day guide to everything to enjoy from the comfort of your own couch.
Cheers, Van. It's me, Paul Ross, here on talkSPORT Extra Time, also broadcasting this morning for one morning only for VE Day on Talk Radio. More after this.
It's ready, steady, go!